Hi, welcome to another vlog. If you're new here, my name is Alicia and I'm a small business owner and illustrator. Today what we're gonna do is my Procreate tutorial part 2. So today the theme is gonna be about Procreate brushes. The previous video was about creating a canvas and like everything about the dimension, the size, and like choosing the color profile. So if you haven't watched it and you're interested, you should watch this one first and then watch the brushes one. So in this vlog what I want to do mostly is show you my favorite brushes from Procreate, like the one that comes with Procreate when you download it, and then I want to show you also the ones I downloaded that I really like. I don't use many brushes. I mostly always use the same ones. I really have like my favorite ones that I never change, but I'll try to show you a little bit more also, like some that I like but I don't necessarily use often. And also I'll show you like easily how to customize a little bit your brushes. I find this useful to know just for sometimes there's a brush like small details only I'm gonna show. I'm not gonna go really in detail because it's kinda a whole different vlog. But I'll show you like how to change the minimum size and maximum size of the brush, I think, and then maybe the stability, because sometimes there might be a brush you really like but it doesn't go as small as you would like it to go, so you can tweak this a little bit in the settings. And also, yeah, sometimes like it's hard to make really straight lines on the iPad even though like your hand is steady, it's still glass, so sometimes it's difficult. So if you just adjust the stability of the brush a little bit, it's gonna help you make really like straighter lines. So we're gonna look at those two like settings. So yeah, let me show you. Okay, so I opened the basic canvas in Procreate, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do like two swatches. I'm gonna do one with a light color and one with a darker color, and then I'll go at like different size. So the first one that I use a lot for sketching is the 6B pencil. 6B pencil. I think it's in the sketching. I'm not sure how it's called in English. Sketch maybe. So then yeah, there's this one. It goes really small, like you can't really see that well, and then you can go bigger, like. But it's still like at the biggest size, it's still quite a small brush because it's made for sketch. You can see it has like a really nice texture. If I zoom in really, yeah, like it has a really nice texture to it. It looks like a real 6B pen. One thing I do often is like mark the size that I really like for the brushes. Like here on the side there's a little slider for the size, and then let's say that you really like it at 35%. You click on this, like the slider bar, I think. You click on it and then you press the plus sign here. So it's gonna put a marker here so you can remember that this brush you usually use it at 35%. And then what's nice with this one, it's like it's a pencil, right? So if you go like on the side, yeah, you can see like this. It works like a real pen. a real pencil. Like you can kind of draw like really like this or incline, and then it's gonna be different. Yeah, kind of like if you wanna shade a little bit. Yeah, so like this. So this one is the 6B. I think this one is well loved by like a lot of people who use Procreate in general. Next one that I like a lot that I use a lot from the basic Procreate is the round brush. And the round brush starts quite small like this, and then it quickly gets bigger and like really big like this. So this brush is really useful to make circles like this if you just press one time. But I mostly use this brush as an eraser, because at the eraser here you can also choose which brushes you want to use, and mine is mostly set at this one, the round brush, because it's like it erases pretty well. Like it's kind of straight, and then yeah. The only thing is that you can see here, if we look at the brushes, like example, the start is kind of light, so if you don't want this transparency kind of at the beginning, you need to press really hard, or like start outside your canvas a little bit. Like, no, I say press really hard, but don't break your iPad, but either you press until it becomes full, or you go back over it. Like, it's really good to color, like a flat color, do flat colors. But when you do like an outline like this, yeah, you need to go back over the start of the line, otherwise it's gonna leave. Like if you step like this, it's not gonna be the same color. But it's also great, you can do some gradients easily like this, so you can play with it, and it's a really useful brush. I like also this one for writing, like doing calligraphy, because as you can see it's quite cute. You just need to be careful about if you don't want it to be a little gradient when you're writing. Okay, so this would be the number 2 that I really like. And then when I want to write, I often use this one also, which is it's if you click in inking, and then you're gonna see something with studio in it. But you can see that for writing it's really great. Like this one is uniform kind of shape, you can see, but this one has a change depending on the pressure you put. So it's like the main difference between the round brush and this one is that it has more like a pressure sensibility, I don't know. Yeah, like this. You can play a lot, so it creates like really like more organic curves, and it's quite stable, so you can easily make great like curved elements with it. It's a really great brush. It doesn't have much texture though, like the round brush. As you can see, it's pretty flat. And this one has no transparency at all. You don't have the problem of like this happening, but like I said, this one is always the same shape. This one, if you're trying to make a circle, you need to be careful about this pressure, because it's not gonna be even. So the next one that I use a lot is gonna be sometimes, depending on what I'm drawing, I'm gonna use the snow. Like in the elements brushes there's snow, so sometimes I'm gonna use that, or like another textured brush, but it's really rare. It's just if I'm doing something really specific. So next, my favorite brushes. My favorite pack is called my favorite pack. I have 2 favorite packs. They're made from the same company, so they're called the Max. Where is it? The Retro Max pack, and then the Comics Max pack. They're both my favorite ones, and they have really amazing brushes in there. Like all of them I like I think, but the ones I use the most are the Max U Gouache Natural. So this one I customized it a little bit. Okay, so when you use it, there's gonna be less color variation when you download it at first. I need to warn you, but this brush has a like to imitate a real gouache, the color changes a little bit, like the hue and saturation changes. Usually it's at 1%, but I put it at 4% because I really like the effect it creates. It goes well with like my art, but some colors you can see it better than other. Also, the other day I was working with green, and green gets really good result when you customize it a little bit. Oh yeah, like this. You can see like how it's kind of always different depending on your stroke. Yeah. So this one is really my favorite brush. I love the texture. It's a little transparent. It gets like, it really imitates well real gouache. Other than that, this one is from, the gouache is from the, is it from the comics? Oh, okay, so this one is from the Retro Max pack. Oh yeah, the gouache. And then there's different gouache one. There's like a natural and glaze and everything. You can look which one you prefer, but this one is the one I use the most. Max U Gouache Natural. The other ones I use are from his other pack, the Comics Max pack. I mostly use the Max U Mechanical Pencil, which is really similar. I have a lot of customized like sizes that I use mostly, but it's really similar to the 6B from Procreate, but you can see the texture is a little bit different. This one has more transparency, like it gets darker with pressure, and the texture is kind of different. This one up close like this look a little blurry even, but I use this one for sketching mostly because I like how like, oops, it's a little bigger than what I usually use, but I like how when you draw like it looks really like a real pencil. This one I really love this one. And then if you see it in like a different color, I like it also. I like to like use it over this one. It like to add some texture if I'm trying to like draw something, I don't know, to add like a little bit of texture over the gouache like I would use in real life. Like sometimes you draw with pencil over gouache or something. So this one, and then I really like also like the other pens. I don't use them as often, as you can see. When I don't have a brush size set up on the side, it means I don't often use them, but I like this one, the Max U Tech pen. It's similar concept as this one. Like if you press, it gets harder, it gets bigger, but this one has texture compared to this one doesn't have. This one has texture. And then like I like the inkers and everything. It's really great. And what I really like in those ones also is the there's like a felt tip one. I mean, really nice. Is it the multiply one? Oh no, wait. So this person creates their brushes always, not always, but a lot of the time with two variations. There's gonna be one that the color is gonna change if you put more pressure or if you draw over it, and then a version also that doesn't do that, so that you can choose which one you prefer. Like this one, there's a multiply here, and then this is the regular one. It looks like this, and then the pink was like this. So it's really different, but you can like play with it depending on what you want to do. And then they also have the gel pen, which is really cute. Let's put it in red, but it has like a really nice texture. It really looks like a gel pen. I think this one is great for like signatures and stuff like that, like writing. Like it looks like you hand wrote it really with like a, looks more natural. So I would recommend this one, Max Hue Gel Pen. And then like, yeah, I really recommend this whole pack actually. I really like it, especially those brushes that you can like that are on multiply, that you can have the multiply option, because I like when there's a color variation that happens like naturally. It looks way more like organic, and it looks way more like traditional art, like traditional brushes and tips and pens. So there's that. And then I also, another of my favorite ones is the Max Hue colored pencil. I think it's from the Max Back Wig. I just want to be sure. I think I removed it, and I think it's from the Comics Max Back. I don't know why I can't find it, but it really looks like a colored pencil, like you see here. And I'm not sure if I customized it a little bit, I need to say, but I don't think so. The texture of this one is just great. And then one thing I really love also is that if you draw over with another color, wait, let me, like, you see it kind of mixes all together. Wait, I'm gonna show you. If I add a little bit of color, like you can create some, it kind of blends together. Like if you draw with a color pencil over another color pencil. If you don't press too hard, but then if you press hard, then it's gonna like kind of go over the one under. But you can do like some gradients like this really easily, and then you keep all the texture. It's really great. I really love this pen. It looks like a real one. Kind of looks like you know those wax crayons? I feel more than a color pencil sometimes. I feel like wax crayon has this kind of texture. If you ever use one, you might understand. But yeah, this one makes it really look like you're drawing on paper, I think. On like a kind of rough paper. So those are all my favorites. You can of course also play on the side here. I told you the size, you can mark it, but there's the opacity also. You can go from 100 to 0. And be careful, sometimes you might press this here instead of pressing the go back arrow, and then it looks you can't draw anymore. It's just this. And then you can also add opacity like markers for some brushes. If you like to use it a little less opaque, then you can customize this here. And then what I was telling you about the I'll pick a random brush that I don't really like, just so I don't mess up my own brushes, but maybe one I never use, like this. What I told you I was gonna show you is the stability here. There's like a streamline, stabilization, and then movement something. But if you want, like you see here, this one has no stability whatsoever. So if you're trying to draw a circle, like it's easy to be not really straight, you know. But if you add some line intensity, it gets easier. And then you can play with the streamline here and the stabilization here. And then you're gonna see that the higher you do it, the more the curve is gonna follow. Like you can see how it's changing. It follows more your pen. So this is really great for if you're doing like calligraphy or something. But like if you put it to the max, be careful, because it gets it gets really hard to do anything. Like like what is this? So yeah, you need to, yeah, like find the setting that you like and then save it. And if by mistake you save it like this, like with this impossible to draw brush, you can, if they're the Procreate ones, you can go here and then put back the original settings. But be careful, because if it's like a brush that you bought, like I bought the Comics Max Pack, and if you go here about this brush, they didn't add their company information, and they didn't create their a setting, like they didn't save the settings. So one thing you could do before you start customizing your brush, if you bought it, go look here and create like a way to reset it with like the original settings, and then if you play with it and you don't like it, you can reset it here. But if you don't save it first, it's not gonna work. It's just lost. You're gonna have to re-download it. I just discovered it right now when I was trying to show you something, actually, so like be careful about this. And then, oh yeah, the other thing I wanted to show you, which one did I wanted to use? Random one. What? Okay, let's use this one. So like you see the size here, the size goes from this to this here. If for you this is not enough, you could click on it and then you go to settings here in the bottom, before materials, the one over materials, and under Apple Pencil, I think it's settings, and then you go here about the brush. There's a minimum size and a maximum size, so you can play with this. Like here the maximum is 23%, but you can put it to 135, and then you press OK, and now your brush is like way bigger than it was before. Same for the small one, you can play with it like that. And also, if you think this brush is way too big, you can also put it just smaller, so like it's easier to deal with. I don't know. But yeah, you can do something like this, and then I'm just gonna reset it so I don't forget. But yeah, the other settings, we're not gonna go through them because it's kind of really complicated and a little specific, so maybe in a different video I could talk about it, but I need to like learn more about it also myself before I want to share more. I just wanted to show you lastly like some brush packs that I like, that I'm not sure where I bought it, but I think that if you write it in, I'm sure I can find it before I publish this video. But I bought a set of risograph brushes, like a riso brushes, and then she explains really how to use it on the website, so I could show you. But you have like all the textures and everything to create like a riso print style, and it's a really good brush pack. Like you need to play, she explains to you how to do your layers and what setting to put the layers for it to look like it's riso printed. Like an example of some art I did with this is this one. I did this using those brushes, and then if you look, it looks like it was printed with the like risograph printing. You can see like the colors are like blending together and everything. So yeah, I'll try to find the link so I can like show you where you can buy this brush. It's really cute one. And like I really like it. Like this one, the texture is really good, even just to use as like a overlay layer over your art piece or like under it in the end to add some texture. Is really great. Really great brush for that. So yeah, it's a risograph pack. I don't think they wrote there. Oh, they wrote there. Yeah, so this is what I was talking about. The other company, they didn't add their information, but this one she added her signature. And then the company, I think it's called uproot, and then the name of the person is Abby Nurse, and then she created a resetting point, so you can click this to reset it if you customize it by mistake. But yeah, the other company didn't do this. I don't know why, but this is what it looks like if they do it. But yeah, I think that's it for the brushes. As I said, I don't use many brushes because I think I get lost in it, and I like anyway, I want my style to mostly look consistent, so I always use the same thing. But I showed you the ones I like the most, and I think that's it for this video. So you've reached the end of this video. I hope you learned something or something interesting. It makes you want to know more about the brushes on Procreate, and also want to try to customize them more to your taste. As I said, I'm gonna put a link to all the places where I bought the brushes. There's like a lot of brushes already in Procreate that can do the same thing probably as some of the brushes I showed, or also like if you want to customize the Procreate brushes, you could come up with some results similar to the one I showed if you don't want to spend money on it. But all those brushes are not, those brush sets are really not that expensive, and the quality is really good, so I highly recommend them. Other than that, so next week we're gonna start going into like more detail, like how to do some artwork, how to create a piece. We're not gonna draw something yet. Next week the theme technically is like all the basic functions, so how to copy and paste elements, all the different settings for the layers, and I'll go into the ones that are like most used, I think. Maybe I'll try to explain them all, but some of them I never use, so I might skip the ones I'm not sure what you can do with it, just because for me it's really not useful, so I don't know. But you should always experiment with the things I don't talk about also. Color coding. And then next week is gonna be the basic functions, like I said, like the copy paste and everything. But I'm also gonna do another video after that one about more details. So if I didn't answer like all the questions you had about the functions in Procreate, maybe it's gonna come in the next video, because if I make only one video about all the function of Procreate, it's gonna be way too long. So after watching the first video, if you have questions or stuff you want me to cover, please leave a comment. I might have already filmed the video, but maybe I can add something to it if like I see that some specific things are requested. I can talk about it. Yeah. Okay, so this is over for me. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any question or comment, or you want to know more about specific things related to this video, please leave a comment, and please hit the like button if you like this video. See you next week. Bye.